Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mocktail Minutes. This is Bailey.
And this is Brianna.
And every week we're going to have a fun little drink to share with you guys. This week I kept it pretty simple, but did it a little fun. So I just have water, a little splash of coconut water, and then some smashed blueberries. It doesn't look super pretty, but it tastes good. And I added some lime juice. So getting hydrated with that this morning. What are you having, Brianna?
Again, I kept it super simple too. I just have the HEB brand unsweetened sparkling water. It's by far my favorite.
Yes, I'm going to have to try it when I come to visit you.
Oh yeah. Anything HEB brand is amazing.
Yeah.
HEB.
And today we have two special guests coming on with us. They're going to answer some questions we've been wanting to know. And I think you guys are really going to love what they're sharing about, because I know I already have so many questions on Instagram about it. So today we have Camila and Chris. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Yeah. Hey guys, we are the founders of Volley Tequila Seltzer. We're married. I'm the chief financial officer, and we're a small company, so kind of do everything.
Yeah. Awesome.
And I'm Chris. I'm the CEO, and we both wear a lot of hats. So we share a lot of the to-dos. But yeah, we're based here in Charleston, South Carolina, and we've been working on Volley for almost three years now.
Oh, wow. That's exciting. Yeah. I recently found you guys, and I really love the seltzers. I think they taste really good, first of all, and the ingredients in them, I just love that. And I think it's super important because, and Chris, we've kind of talked about this before when we first met, is like, yeah, we know alcohol, it's not going to be a great thing to always have. I mean, alcohol doesn't really provide benefits, but we're adults, we're realistic. We like to have alcohol, social gatherings and everything. So if we're going to drink better. And that's what I really liked about Volley.
And yeah. I love that we're doing that because like with everything, it's all about moderation, right? Like if you're going to enjoy yourself, you might as well do it in a way that supports you the best. So yeah, why don't you guys tell us a little bit about Volley? Like, how did it start? Where did the idea come from?
Yeah, that's exactly right. We love to push like an 80-20 lifestyle. Like it's not sustainable to just go 100% and try to be, super healthy and restrict yourself. So why not be able to enjoy yourself? But the idea started a while ago, like 5 years ago, when the whole seltzer craze was quite big. We were drinking White Claws, didn't really know what was in them. There weren't any spirit-based seltzers at this time, so High Noon didn't exist. And I happened to be reading a book called The Dorito Effect, and it talks about the food system in the US and basically what a natural flavor is. What's the difference between a natural flavor and an artificial flavor? And there's actually no difference in them. They're both made in the lab. One is, I guess, made from the natural world. So like, tree bark to like some leaves or whatever, but it's still all synthesized in the lab to create a flavor and to give your mouth the essence of tasting like something. The most shocking one is vanilla flavor, which is actually why flavors were created. It's very expensive to get vanilla bean. So they created vanilla flavor for ice cream. And vanilla flavor comes from the behind of a beaver. It's called castoreum, and it gives your mouth the essence of vanilla. So kind of like truffle oil versus like truffle flavor or whatever. So when I read that, I was like, what is happening here? And yeah, exactly. Then you're like, what is White Claw? What's alcohol in here? And fermented cane sugar I have no idea what that means. I still like can't wrap my head around it, especially with natural flavors. And I'm like, they tell you this is healthier for you. This is not healthier for you. This is not better for you. It just feels lighter than a beer. And I was really frustrated by it. And so we started looking for the tequila option. I was a tequila drinker for a better option and just didn't find one. So we decided to create one. We wanted to be extremely transparent with our ingredients. So they're listed right in the front of the can and they're all real. So we made the recipes in our kitchen and it's literally with everything you could buy in a grocery store and put in the can.
That's so cool.
I love it. And I think what's cool about it. So like if you haven't seen a Volley yet, or you haven't heard of them, like you have to flip the can before you do it. And funny story about that, flipping, not shaking, because I shook mine one day in the car and I was just like flipping it, I guess, super aggressively and it exploded all over me. So make sure you flip the can and it's going to help like mix everything together. but it's also going to be made with 100% real juice. So it's not just another clear seltzer. You can actually see the color of the juice as well.
Yeah, exactly. When you pour it in a cup, it looks really nice, especially the mango. It has like a really bright mango color. But that's what got us like questioning. You know, there's so many seltzers that say they use real ingredients. There's real juice, and like, well, when you pour it in a cup, grapefruit juice is pink. Like, why isn't there color in this juice? And why are they allowed to say that? You don't have to list ingredients on alcoholic products, and so they can basically say whatever they want, and you'll never know. So yeah, I was very frustrated, as you can tell. I'm still frustrated.
I've actually never thought of that. I've never thought that like when you drink like a grapefruit or a mango, like White Claw, or there's like they're clear.
Clear.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think just an important note. So when we're talking about these natural versus artificial flavors, so natural flavors, the original source is going to be from a plant or an animal. And then your artificial flavors, those are going to be like a synthetic chemical. And I think it's hard too, because I mean, we hear natural and our natural first instinct thought is natural equals healthy. So I think we've never just really questioned it to what exactly does natural mean. And just like you said, like it's any part of a plant or animal that it could come from as well.
yeah. And I think that's, you know, my biggest issue when I'm dealing with, you know, like any food brands or supplement brands, especially and like, you know, alcohol brands, is like the transparency that the company chooses to have, because it's marketing, right? I mean, like you said, you think of natural flavors like, oh, okay, this is great. It's natural. Like that's whatever. And a lot of companies know that. And, you know, not that it's right, wrong, or indifferent. It's, you know, free market. It's up to the consumer to be knowledgeable. And we're just not as consumers. So I love anytime that I find a company that's like, hey, we're transparent. This is what's in our product. This is why we think it's important. And I don't know, it just shows like you care about what you're putting in your product and you want others to care about it too. I love that.
Yeah, that's spot on. That's what the brand's all about, is being that brand that someone can trust and, you know, feel good about consuming and sharing with other people, especially in a category that doesn't have the requirements for transparency that all other food and beverage categories do have. But also there's a deeper problem with these flavors, because it sounds very friendly. Natural flavors sounds you know, shockingly innocent. And that's the beauty of it as an industry. It's a $40 billion industry that hides in you know, plain sight, because anyone who reads it is not going to raise an eyebrow. You know, a lot of people say, you know, if you can't pronounce the ingredient, don't consume it. But we all can say natural flavors. But I can almost guarantee you that every brand that is using these flavors, they do not know what the ingredients are to the flavors in their products, because they're proprietary recipes from the flavor houses. So even the brands making you the product don't know what is going into these flavors. And on top of that, you can have things called incidental ingredients in a given flavor, which you can put all different kinds of things. We've worked closely with flavor houses in the past, so we're well versed on it all. But incidental ingredients can pretty much be anything. They're just put in at such a small amount that they're not tripping the wire on certain allergies or different callouts.
Yeah. And I think I've read somewhere too where some artificial flavors actually have fewer chemicals than natural flavors, which is super interesting as well. With this all being said, like we were talking about the ingredients, that's different than Volley than what we would see in other seltzers. What else would you say makes Volley really unique as a company, as a product? What would you say?
Yeah, so we also use a very high quality tequila. We use 100% agave tequila. Almost every other seltzer that is tequila based uses something called mixto tequila. And you can basically compare Jose Cuervo to a Don Julio. So Jose Cuervo, we've all taken shots of it. Doesn't make you feel so great. It's called a mixto tequila because it's distilled from 49% other sugars. So tequila comes from the agave plant. It's agave juice that is distilled. When you use 100% agave tequila, which is what we use, it is distilled 100% from agave juice. The mixto tequila can add other sugars to it to help the distillation process. And typically those sugars are high fructose corn syrup. That's why you don't feel so great after drinking Don Jose Cuervo. And something else that they don't have to tell you, which is frustrating. So we use really good quality tequila. It's additive free. There's like no flavors in there. There are several tequilas that are high quality that also add flavors, which is another frustrating part of the industry. But yeah, we really try to be clean and be the cleanest option. And then we use organic juice, and that's it. Nothing's from concentrate. It's as if you squeezed a lime, froze it, and then defrosted it when you were ready to stick it in your product. So really where our juice comes from. Our ginger is from Peru. We find that the ginger in Peru is spicier and it has a brighter flavor versus Chinese ginger, which is where most of the ginger in the world comes from. Our limes and mangoes are from Mexico. And then our grapefruit is a ruby red from Texas. And yeah, we're partnered with Leave No Trace, which is a nonprofit based out of Boulder, Colorado, which was a super important initiative for me when we started the company. And we were living in New York City, and New York City can be pretty dirty. And there were so many cans everywhere. And I was like, look, we're going to be this product that's for active people and that, like, could be drinking out on the beach or in a park. And I really don't want to see our cans. But since we can't control that, why don't we give back? And so we organize cleanups with like at different parks and stuff like that. And we've partnered with Leave No Trace, which is a nice initiative that we have.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. And I really like the volley community because you've talked about being active and everything. It's like a really great wellness community to be a part of.
Yeah, that's awesome. Since we're kind of speaking of like, the can and all that, what made you guys choose the aluminum cover?
It's genius.
Yes,
I love it.
So we really wanted to be the cleanest seltzer on the market. People say tequila is the cleanest liquor you could drink. We use raw juice. And to be the cleanest, we had to make sure the can was clean. There are many studies that there's like disgusting amounts of bacteria on the top of cans. And so just keeping it really clean, and it's attractive. They're nice and bright. But most importantly, it's a reminder for somebody to flip the can. So a lot of people don't realize that when there's real juice, just like a juice in like an orange juice on the shelf, you need to shake it up because otherwise the pulp settles on the bottom. Like the actual juice will settle and separate from water. And that's just because orange juice is made up of parts of water. And so if you didn't shake up Volley, it'll separate. So tequila is the least dense. Tequila will rise to the top, then the water, and then the juice will go to the bottom. So you'll get a nice shot of tequila, which is fine if that's what you're into. But if you want to get the full flavor, the foil is a nice reminder to flip it over.
Yeah. And then you're keeping everything clean. I know.
Yeah.
It is. I know the studies you're talking about, and it'll drive you crazy.
I remember when we were younger, like wiping it on my shirt and just being like, okay, this is definitely clean.
Yeah,
now
it's totally clean. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get older and you're like, that doesn't kill bacteria at all. Yeah. 5-second rule.
It's definitely gross to think about. Like, you go to a gas station, you have all those cans, and like, how many people have touched those? I'm like, I don't even want to drink another can unless it's covered.
Like, where were they stored? What was crawling on them?
What was crawling on it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it too.
Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine like what kind of Bailey and I both started businesses, but like we are our product. You know what I mean? Like, I can't even imagine what it's like starting your own company from the ground up and having a product and worrying about ingredients and, you're partnering with nonprofits for like cleanup and all this. So can you guys kind of share just a little bit of that process of what it was like getting started? I mean, you shared your why behind it, but I'm sure this has been in the making for a while.
Yes, definitely. We started working on the product development in 2019. We bought like a handheld canner and we started making samples from our kitchen and just handing them out at like barbecues and stuff for people to try and to get some feedback on it. And Chris has a background in product development. So yeah, you go into it.
Yeah, we've been making products for about 10 years. So we've done a lot of the private label for different retailers like Williams-Sonoma. We've done a line for Walmart and a couple other projects, mainly mixers, cocktail mixers that don't have any alcohol in them. And in that process, we got quite good at making stuff and figuring out how to navigate the whole co-packing and making sure things are safe and being produced properly and consistent, and what needs do you have for different types of products. So very fun and a little bit crazy journey just navigating all these facilities. But yeah, that made us feel comfortable being like, hey, this doesn't exist. Let's build the best version that we can, the version that we would want to enjoy. And it took us down to Mexico. We had to figure out where we were going to make it, what tequila we were going to use, what canning site. There aren't many canning sites in Mexico. It's like the Wild West down there. but Camila and I, we speak Spanish, so that definitely helped. And we're able to rely on a couple folks down there to help in putting together the supply chain. And yeah, there's a few pieces of custom equipment that were built. The piece of equipment to put that foil on is actually a custom piece of equipment built in Israel, and then brought the tequila region in Mexico. And it's quite intense, but it's really good quality in terms of what we're putting in there. So we said, let's just do it what the best possible way is, and then see if people like it as much as we do. We imagine that we're not the only ones that like tequila soda, and it's been cool just getting to know the people consuming it and where it's doing well. And we're trying not to expand too fast. We're trying to, be really focused on where we're building awareness and where people are consuming it, so that we can really build communities in those areas.
Yeah, I love that. What is your favorite flavor of the volleys?
Mine it rotates, but I think the lime and ginger are my two favorites.
I'm the opposite. Yeah.
You're the opposite.
I don't know. It really depends what I'm feeling like, but I can always drink the grapefruit. I love grapefruit juice.
Okay.
And then I go for a mango.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think mango is like my second favorite one. So those are my favorites. Yeah, it's really cool to just hear the story about how it all comes up and comes together, because like Brianna was saying, we own businesses too, but it's more of like a business of sharing like our brain. Like we didn't have to think about what ingredients go into it. We didn't think about the marketing of, well, I guess like marketing ourselves as a package, but like,
Yeah.
we're going to display it in a store and get people's attention. So there is really a lot that goes into it. So it's always cool to hear that kind of story.
Oh, yeah.
But foil actually wasn't there originally. So there's lots of things we've like learned, and it wasn't perfect out of the gate. People didn't know to flip the can initially.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh man, this is going to be a big problem, because we can't talk to every person. And, how do we get a person that we don't know who's finding this product in a random store across the country to know to flip the can, and why? And it was a big marketing exercise of like, how do you change behavior on something that you consume every day, a can, but you never flip a can.
Yeah.
So to do that is actually quite a marketing undertaking to change behavior. And we thought of, do the cans get packed upside down? We put something inside? Do we put the lettering upside down on the can? Lots of different ideas. But the foil idea, we were all like, that's a good idea. That's
Because it stops people. Like they see
Yeah.
the can, they're used to it. Okay. But then like, oh, you go to open it. And you're like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah. There's a lot of value add on that foil. The difficulty was actually, getting the machine and being able to do it. So actually now in market, there's some cans you'll peel the foil off, and that you might actually win something. There might be a Willy Wonka moment, a golden ticket, where different people are winning stuff depending on what's under their foil.
Oh, that's really good to know. I'll have to pay attention.
Don't take those foils for granted.
All the more reason.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
that.
they're multi-purpose. I'm excited. I'm expecting a case to come today between noon and 4. So I'll have to be like stalking outside.
Amazing.
I'm waiting for it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Another question we did have was, where can people buy it? So I order mine online because they're not near me yet, but where can we find it?
Yes, that was my question, because I know people are going to be listening to this. It's going to be, the time that everyone's relaxing by the pool, by the lake, on the beach. They're going to want to try it. So yeah, I was looking it up too. I want to see.
Yeah.
Where are you guys in?
You can find it in Whole Foods in a number of states. So state by state, it depends on whether Whole Foods can sell spirit-based products. But for example, in Florida, if you're in Florida, you can always find us at Whole Foods. We're in a number of Total Wines and independent liquor stores. So we have clusters. The majority of our stores are in Florida, Massachusetts, South Carolina, and then we fill in the East Coast, and we're starting to build our footprint on the West Coast as well. So a couple of Costco locations, Total Wine, and Whole Foods over there. But our map is always up to date. We try to keep it up to date. So, and online is a great spot to find us because there's free shipping on a case, and we often have different promos. So You can get the product for equal to or less than you'd find it in a store and don't even need to walk outside.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. And I'll put my link in the episode notes. So if you guys do need to order, you can use the link as well. It's right there for you.
It's exciting. I'm looking it up. Yeah, it looks like in my area they're at Total Wine because I don't know all the laws in Texas. I don't know if you can have spiked seltzers in stores, but I can get it online, and that's all that matters, which is great because I
Right.
hate physically shopping.
Exactly. We're finding that. So, but yeah, it's just a seltzer season and it's a really refreshing, light drink. You're not going to take and be like, oh, this is strong. You know, it's 5%. And yeah, we're excited to hear your feedback, everyone's
Yes.
feedback on it.
Love
All
that.
right. Well, anything else you guys want to add? Anything we've missed?
We covered
Um,
most of it. Camila?
I don't think so.
All right.
Well,
You wanna
yeah, thank you guys for coming and chatting with us. I think what Bailey was going to say, do you want to share where we can find you?
I was just going to say that. Yeah, you can find us at Drink Volley on Instagram. And we always respond to all DMs. So just if you have any feedback or any questions, let us know. And we're there.
All right. Sounds good. Yes. Thank you so much for coming on, answering our questions. Like I said, I'll drop a link in the description so you guys can check out Volley and tag us when you try it out. Let us know what your favorite flavor is. All right.
Awesome.
thank you
Thank
for
you
having
guys.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye, guys.